We got enough. We're only missing two.
We're supposed to have 11.
First of all, we
Well,
gotta
we were
just get
short,
the
though.
ink out.
We're short.
I think we're short two, so we're supposed to have 9. Diane's the one that's missing.
Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah, so we're good.
So we're
You
good.
know, we're not in bad shape like the ZBA.
The mayor should just make some more appointments.
All right, you guys ready over there?
I know, I'm trying to.
I'd like to call to order Village of Bartlett Plan Commission on December 14th at 7 p.m. Will the secretary call the roll?
Jim Lumberg.
Here.
Mark Hopkins.
Here.
Tim Ridenauer.
Here.
John Miasso. Diane Niggle. Austin Hopkins.
Here.
Jack Allen. Jerry Kellis.
Here.
Tom Connor.
Here.
We have a quorum.
First item on the agenda is the approval of the September 14th, 2017 meeting minutes.
So moved?
Is there any additions or corrections?
No. Not from me.
Secretary call the roll.
Mark Hopkins.
Yes?
Tim Ridenauer.
Yes.
John Miasso.
Yes.
Austin Hopkins.
Yes.
Jack Allen.
Yes.
Jerry Kellis.
Abstain.
Tom Connor.
Yes.
Jim Lumberg.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is number 17-23, Jacaranda Subdivision. It's for a preliminary final PUD, final plat of subdivision, rezoning from the SR2 PUD Suburban Residence Zoning District to the P1 Public Lands Zoning District for future lots 16 and 22 of the proposed subdivision, the Hawk Hollow Elementary School site, and a special use permit for a planned unit development. This is a public hearing this evening. If there's anyone in the audience that's going to have a comment, question, we have a form in the back where the clock is back there. You need to have it filled out and have it turned into the staff, and we will call and let you know when you can come up to the microphone and have your say what you want to do. Roberta, do we have all the documents, notices?
Yes, we do. And if we
Okay.
could enter into the record Exhibit D, the letter from the Forest Preserve District of DuPage County.
Exhibit D, okay. Okay, Roberta, would you like to fill us in?
Sure.
What's this? Oh, that's right.
So this property has a very long history, and it was annexed into the village in 1986. And in 1998, an application was filed with the village for the Jacaranda Estate Subdivision, consisting of 49 single-family lots, and the rezoning of the subject property to the from the ER1 to the SR3 district, which was 8,100 square foot lots. This application was denied by the village board, primarily, I believe, because the 8,100 square foot lots was not consistent with the trend and character of the area, and I think they were looking for larger lots at the time, and therefore they denied the petition. Then in 2000, the property owner and actually sued the village, and in May 16th of 2000, the village entered into a consent decree to settle this lawsuit with the property owner. And also in May of 2000, the property was then rezoned from the ER1 district to the SR2 district, and a preliminary plat of subdivision was approved for 43 single-family lots. In 2001, the school district purchased the property from the property owner and petitioned the village for site plan approval for a proposed elementary school, which I have up on the screen right now. This site plan included the construction of Jacaranda Drive, which is there today, shown here. And this is Gerber Road. And this site plan was approved on July 5th of 2001. Then in October of 2001, the school district filed a final plat of subdivision for the Jacaranda subdivision, which now showed 15 single-family lots and a special use permit for the wetlands on the property. This was approved on October 2nd. In 2002, U46 constructed the Hawk Hollow Elementary School and conducted a public auction to sell off the balance of the property to a residential builder to construct the 15-lot subdivision. Also in 2002, DuPage County Department of Environmental Concerns requested a conservation easement be recorded on the subject property for the protection and maintenance of the wetland and the wetland buffer area, shown in this location. In 2003, there was a successful bidder from the public auction. However, they decided to not move forward on the project. And also in 2003, as a result, an intergovernmental agreement regarding drainage and wetland maintenance and conservation obligations was approved for the Jacaranda subdivision between the village and U46. This was the final plat back in 2001, shown here with the school site here, and then the 15 lots. In August of 2009, the DEC, Department of Environmental Concerns for DuPage County, signed off on the wetland enhancement summary for the Gerber Road Hawk Hollow Elementary School, which brings us to the present day. So we had a preliminary subdivision approved. We had a final subdivision approved, but it was never recorded, and construction obviously never commenced. And in accordance with our subdivision and PUD ordinance, from the time a final plan is approved, you have 1 year to start construction. That did not happen. They did not ask for an extension, and therefore, no extensions were requested or granted, and that basically all plans became null and void. So that brings us back to today and tonight, which is for a preliminary and final PUD plan and a final plat of subdivision for 15 single-family lots. Also includes a lot for the school, still here, and a very tiny, small lot, 22 in this location here. They are requesting, the school district is requesting to rezone the school lot and that small lot 22 to a P1 district, public lands, which is what most of the schools in Bartlett are zoned, P1. And they're also asking for a special use permit for plan unit development to allow for modifications from the SR2 bulk requirements, which were previously granted in that consent decree and are outlined in your staff report for several of the lots. No changes are being proposed to the Hawk Hollow Elementary School site or the access off of Gerber Road or the existing Jacaranda Drive. As shown on the subdivision plat, Winston Lane in the existing Hawk Hollow subdivision at this location to the north will be extended southward through this subdivision and would connect to the existing Benson Drive at the southeast in the existing Fairfax Commons subdivision, so down here. So this road would connect Winston and Benson, and Jacaranda Drive comes out to Gerber. The 80-foot wide future Fair Oaks Road right-of-way would be dedicated with the recording of this plat and follows the village's future land use plan and thoroughfare plan road alignment. And that 80-foot right-of-way is here and here. The village, however, would not construct this roadway until the entire right-of-way has been obtained and when funds become available. Stormwater and detention would be located on lots 18, 19, and 21. So here, here, and here, all along back in here. And which would be owned and maintained by the homeowners association, with lot 20 consisting of an existing wetland and a 50-foot wetland buffer and a tree preservation easement, all shown on this lot. Wetland buffer comes down along here, and then this lot 21 would be detention. No lots will encroach within the wetland or the wetland buffer, and existing trees located along the north property line of lot 20 would be preserved. In addition, the builder and the HOA will be required to comply with all the DuPage County requirements pertaining to the wetland. This final subdivision plat is consistent with the approved plat from 2001. However, the original plat, like I said, was never recorded and never constructed. So in accordance with the village's zoning ordinance, once a final plat or PUD plan is approved, construction must commence within a year from the approval date. The petitioner is also requesting an extension to allow 2 years rather than the 1-year timeframe for this construction to commence, since the school district must follow certain state mandated guidelines, which includes conducting a public auction for the sale of the property. The extension is not part of your purview tonight. The village board would actually hear the request for the extension. Once the school district sells the property to the successful bidder, plans will be completed and then submitted to the village for review. Other documents required by the village, such as the public improvement completion agreement, sureties, and covenants, would also need to be submitted prior to construction commencing. And the staff does recommend approval of the petitioner's request, subject to the conditions and findings of fact outlined in your report. And we do have the petitioners from U46 here tonight. If you have any questions, they'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, I have a question. In our packet, we have approved site plan for 2001, and also an Exhibit B, original approved final plat of subdivision, where it shows a part of the road north of Jacaranda Drive as Gerber. They're officially going to change that over to Fair Oaks?
The new plat, this is Fair Oaks Road here. This is still Gerber here.
Right, but on the information that we have here, it shows proposed Gerber, it says. So
This is the
it's
approved.
officially going to be Fair Oaks all the way through.
Here's the plat, is this the plat you're looking at from your packet?
Yeah, the old ones.
The old one?
Yeah, these are the older ones.
And that was never recorded, and that could have just been an error at the time. It's going to be Fair Oaks Road,
It will be.
yes.
Okay. Anyone on the commission have any questions?
I think the report said that this plat is in substantial conformance to what we saw before,
That
all
is-
those years past. So, could you describe what the variances are?
Do you mean,
How is this different from what we saw before?
wow. I think it provides a little bit more detail on the plat. We worked really hard with the school district to ensure that the requirements of today were met, rather than, DuPage County requirements for the wetland and the labels that are placed on the wetland lot are a little different than what they were in 2001. So we clarified that. We actually labeled the wetland buffer. Let me show that.
Right, the 50-foot.
Right, which was not on the old
It's
plan.
labeling, it's not geometrics?
It could be, we tried to keep it almost identical, and correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, to the dimensions that were provided 16 years ago.
That was my question.
No right-of-way changes, all of those dimensions are identical. the school site, the lot 22, I think that might be a new number, maybe, that little remnant piece down here.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. I think we actually outlined on this plat the location of the wetland. So a little more detail.
Roberta, why bring Fair Oaks through and connect it into Gerber?
Let me show you. So back in, let me get. Back in 1990, when this subdivision to the east, Fairfax Commons, came in, they established, Fair Oaks Road is actually located south of Army Trail and Carroll Stream. They aligned a future roadway and got recorded with this subdivision, and they set aside the right-of-way for that. It starts off at 80 feet in width, and it narrows up a little bit right now, but it set the tone and was located in the 1980s on a thoroughfare plan for the village. And this subdivision complied with that thoroughfare plan and began this collector that would travel all the way north, even it goes over the railroad tracks through the Silvercrest subdivision. So obviously, that hasn't happened either over the railroad tracks, but this has been shown since the mid-'80s.
So it's something that will get done, or is it something that could get changed later on?
I think it depends on whether we have the funding or not, and we have not acquired all of the right-of-way. At this location, there's a property owner here where the right-of-way has not been obtained. So there's a couple factors involved.
Yeah, I don't know, I just look at it, and it just looks like kind of a goofy cut-through, because you're going to have such a strange intersection there at Fair Oaks and Gerber then, when they connect. So, yeah.
Any other questions for staff?
I have one. So, just to make it clear, the homeowners association will maintain ownership and maintenance of lots 19, 20, and 21?
18, 19,
18, 19, 20.
yeah, the detention lots, 18, 19, and 20. This lot here, and this lot down here, 21. Yes, that is correct.
And 22?
How big of a
No,
house,
the school district will have 22.
how big of a house would I be able to put on lot 22 if I were to obtain?
I'll let the school district answer that.
Okay. The petitioner here this evening, could you stand and be sworn in? And anyone else that's going to give testimony, please? Raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is true and accurate to the best of your knowledge? Thank you. Do you have anything you'd like to add to staff's report?
Would you like to?
Any questions from the members on the commission for the petitioner?
Across the street.
No further questions? Okay, at this time, we'll open up to the public for a public hearing. If there's anyone in the audience that has a question or comment, fill out the form that's back there by the clock and hand it in to staff. Okay, do you have someone?
Steve Hendrickson.
Could you state your name and address, please?
My name's Stephen Henriksen. I'm at 1623 Fairfax Lane in Bartlett. So I'm not sure the format. I attend a lot of meetings, but I know you guys have the format a little differently. I have a couple concerns. I have a student in Hawk Hollow right now. The traffic flow is a huge concern of mine. As it is now, pickup and drop-off coming down Jacaranda is backed up almost sometimes to Gerber. I don't know if that's been addressed at all in any of these plans. The plan for extending Fair Oaks is a nightmare. I didn't even know that was happening tonight. That just, our playground is right where that would be for the school. Kids playing right there, and not to mention the turn. And then I had a question about the wetland portion, because right now where that drive ends at the bottom by Penny Lane there, yeah, right in there, that's listed as wetland. Do you guys have to rezone that? Are you guys allowed to answer me, or do I just have to talk?
I can answer that. So this is shown for a detention area. There's a line right here, if you can see that. This is the wetland buffer that's required by DuPage County.
That's what's there now, yeah.
And this will get recorded finally if this gets approved. But this is the actual wetland itself.
Oh, because there's a sign at the end of Penny Lane where it dead ends at the bottom.
At Benson Drive, you mean? This is
Yeah,
Benson.
oh, okay,
We're not down at Penny. This is Benson.
but it attaches to Penny.
Okay, right. Goes through here, yes.
There's a sign at the end of Benson currently that says it's a wetland, no dumping, that kind of thing. And there is somebody built a cut at some point. There's a cut through there that we walk daily. And I've never been able to get, it says no dumping, so there's like a fine if you dump anything there, but with the traffic we have, mulch gets put down. So how does that change for this? That's one of the concerns the parents have had. How do you extend that drive if that's a wetland?
Well, there's an existing, let me show you on here. You can see it a little better. There's an existing larger pond area here. Do you see that? And that's on Penny Lane.
Right.
That is not on this property.
Okay, so,
The wetland is right up here. So the wetland I think that you're talking about that is affecting that area is already existing and is a park.
so the
Schrader
sign
Park.
essentially could be
Right, the Park
incorrect.
District, I think Schrader Park, that's the park land, and I think that's what you're seeing.
But that Schrader's way north of that.
But this is the area that's closest, I believe, to you.
Yeah, and it's still, that Benson is a little,
And here's Benson.
Yeah.
So I think with the subdivision and the development, you're going to have sidewalk connections now.
Yeah,
and a
that'd be
street,
nice.
which will be easier access for you. Am I correct on that?
but are you guys gonna allot for the coming and going, the traffic pattern, getting in and out of the school? Drop-off is easy because I can get there early. I don't have to wait in line, but pickup is a nightmare. Again, the traffic backs up all the way to Gerber, and then if you're talking about extending Winston all the way through to Penny, now you have 3 different routes to get into the school, and that's just gonna mess up traffic patterns. So that's a concern. Parents don't always treat each other nicely, pickups and drop-offs. And the school lot itself doesn't have enough parking for the parents. So now you're talking about adding houses. How are they gonna utilize that? I'm just concerned with traffic and the number of cars in and out of that area. And also with the playground. Last thing I'll talk about is the playground concerns, which I mentioned earlier, which I didn't know about before I came. But does the developer do the developers have to provide a playground? I know we have Schrader. I've seen playgrounds put in for other developments. Is there any chance we could get the developer we're trying to upgrade our playground at Hawk Hollow. We're trying to raise $40,000. It'd be awfully nice if they could kick in a couple thousand. Is that something the village can request a donation? Because they will benefit, those houses along there will benefit from a playground. Is that something as a group we can ask for?
Well, this has to go, the Park District will look at this subdivision as well, and they can either request land.
that's Park.
Right, it's a separate district and taxing body, so they will also look at this. I don't know, Greg, has the school district talked to the Park District at all, or could you come up to the microphone? And then if you could address his, maybe the traffic issues at the school?
Could you state your name and address, please?
Greg Berna, 2359 Lake Avenue, Crystal Lake.
Thank you.
Just north of where you're at.
Here, why don't you just point with this?
Thank you. Right here, there will be a new drive for the way it was originally designed. Because the road was not put in, the full design was not developed. So they hopefully will have more flow through the lot once the design is completely finished. So that will help with the day-to-day parent drop-off.
But right now, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to.
You guys can't hear?
Excuse me, can you?
Microphone, though, because
Thank you.
So right now, again, you're looking at like the third lot in, that's where the traffic is ending at 2:15 for pickup. No, even further down,
oh,
further west. Yeah, there you go. Like maybe a little further in.
Third lot.
Yeah, like right around there. Just make a circle.
okay.
So if you think the Hawk Hollow entrance is all the way at the corner, that's if everybody's entering one way. So now we have two other ways they can get in. That's going to cause a huge bottleneck, and then people aren't, do we make that a one-way? Is there no turn at certain times of the day? Those are the types of concerns I have, and I don't know how to fully address them. And then I didn't even know if you're going to put in the extension of Fair Oaks down the road, that's just going to make it even worse. Can you speak to that for me?
I can't really speak to Fair Oaks extension. That's something in the
Well,
future.
but the other,
but-
how would we best handle that?
So you should have better flow because right now you have a dead end road. So you should have better flow for here so people can be directed in different directions. Plus, they're not coming back out on here, they can come out on this road.
So then are they proposing a second entrance to the lot at Hawk Hollow?
For the school, yes. We were actually going to relocate the drive that's currently here to here.
That would be great because that entrance is terrible.
Right, and that was actually because the road was not completed and the original design was for it to come out here. So this was kind of a temporary situation that's lasted for
Yeah, 16.
16 years.
Yeah.
So,
So is this more these questions more questions I should take to the district?
no, that is something that will be part of the sale of the lot because once the road is in, the drive will be part of their recommendations or their requirements.
Okay. And when is this going to take place?
We need to get the approvals and then we will go through auctioning the property off.
I talked to Jeff King at the last CAC meeting, and that's kind of what. I appreciate your time, and thank you for listening to my rambling.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience have a question or comment? Anyone else? Don't have any other names? No. I'm going to close this portion of public hearing. Members of the commission have any questions for staff or the petitioner? The petitioner have anything you'd like to add? I guess I'll be looking for a motion. We're going to combine all these together for one vote, okay? Anybody have a problem with that? That's good. Okay, then I'll be looking for a motion.
So moved.
Wait a minute.
Second.
I didn't read it.
I'm sorry. I thought you asked for one.
I look for a motion to approve the petitioner's request for a preliminary and final PUD plan, final plat of the subdivision, rezoning from the SR2 PUD zoning district to public land zoning districts for future lots 16 and 22, and a special use permit for a planned unit development. And the conditions and finding of fact.
So moved? So moved. Second.
Any further discussion? Secretary, call the roll.
John Miasso,
Yes.
Austin Hopkins.
Yes.
Jack Allen,
Yes.
Jerry Callis,
Yes.
Tom Connor,
Yes.
Mark Hopkins, Tim Ridenhour.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Good luck. Wasn't too bad there. Next item on the agenda is old business, new business.
As of now, we don't have any items for January.
Or February.
But I think we're going to be very busy in the spring. So,
Anyone else have any comments or questions?
I had something, no.
No. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Austin and who?
Yeah.
Jack?
He made the motion, I second.
I'm sorry?
I made the motion, Jerry second.
Thank you.
It's the end of the meeting.
Okay.